We continue on with our uh, analysis of the wild card games. The San Francisco 49ers get the win. They beat their division rival, the Seattle Seahawks, for the third time in a year, in a game that was for a decent amount, a lot closer than what people thought. But the 49ers were able to break through and then run away with it. Comfortable 41-23 winners. Because I'm the Niner fan. This was a little bit like I wouldn't, if I had to be lying, I would be lying if I said I wasn't biting my nails for some periods of this game. I was just teeny bit nervous, especially when DK Metcalf was able to uh, beat Travis Ward one-on-one to break it open to make it 14, and especially when they were able to sustain two long drives. A little bit concerned with this 49ers defense that has not been as good as that they were throughout the season, especially in the last couple of games, what we made Jared Stidham look like. Um, and then now this game, Geno Smith, a little bit concerning. I think they played down to the quarterback and they played down to the offense, which they can do in the playoffs. Apart from that, whenever the 49ers were just a better team, Brock Purdy was a little bit shaky at the beginning of the game, a little concerning. But once he got his foot under himself, the pressure was a little bit relieved, he was dealing, he was elusive, he was making plays. It was, in my opinion, the best quarterback performance I've seen from a 49er quarterback in a playoff game since probably Kaepernick. Since probably
Kaepernick.
Kaepernick. Since Kaepernick. Yeah, that's how very, very good. He was very, very, very good. I was very, very impressed, especially in that second half. Started off nervy, but second half he was great. And once the turning point was when the Seahawks were driving 23-17 with a chance to go in and lead. Nick Bosa getting the play. I think it was Omenahu that got the strip sack or someone,
Yeah,
someone
he
on
got the
our
strip sack.
Omenahu got the strip, and then Nick Bosa was able to
Recovery.
recover the
Yeah.
fumble. And then from there on, Seattle could not turn it over in the red zone. That's the one thing that they couldn't do. They couldn't turn it over, period, whenever they're playing against the 49ers. Still not very, very comfortable for us. We were able to generate another turnover. Debo Samuel breakthrough. Brock Purdy continued to make plays, and the 49ers talent showed. And now I guess another test comes. The first real test of the Cowboys are a real test.
Well, yeah, I think the Seahawks played a pretty good game, and they should be proud of what they did. I mean, they competed with one of the most complete teams in the NFL for one half, and then the strip sack happened, and that really killed their momentum. But I think the Seahawks they did pretty good, more than what anyone thought, because no one really thought this game was going to be anything. But then they made it into somewhat of a game until basically the end of the third quarter. Yeah.
I mean, it's a divisional rival. So, I mean, they've already played them twice. They didn't play too well those two times. So they're just due for a better performance, but they just couldn't keep the momentum going. And the Niners just showed why they're the better team, one of the best teams in the NFC.
All right, guys, let's move on though. With my opinion, probably the game of the wild card round. Some would disagree. I just really enjoyed this game. I really enjoyed the performance of one player that I'm gonna get high marks for. Um, the Giants versus Vikings. Obviously the game the Giants won. That's very important. Brian Daboll was in his bag. Minnesota Vikings were exposed for the frauds that they were and all that. We can go on and on trying to analyze how this Giants Vikings game go. But I want my first main point talking about the performance of Daniel Jones, which in my opinion, I don't know in the top of my head a first playoff performance, a quarterback performance in his first game at the top of my head. I can't think of one better than what Daniel Jones did against the Vikings. I thought Daniel Jones was amazing, running in his dual threat ability, running the ball, passing the ball. First quarterback to have over 300 passing yards, over 70 rushing yards. Didn't turn it over once. Didn't feel like the pressure was there. Playing for New York with that media, getting the abuse that he's got in the last 4 years and being able to perform the way he has this season, ascending. This is the first time he's had a real coach, and then capping off the season, not saying their season is over, but putting the cherry on the top, leading the playoff win on the road against, yes, a fraudulent Vikings team, but a Vikings team that did manage to win 13 games. Just saying, they did manage to win, somehow managed to win 13 games. and was
Yeah.
able to go in there and beat them and perform the way he did. Saquon, brilliant running back. What a running back he is. That touchdown, that first touchdown he had, the cut he made that 30-yard run look slight. Like,
Yeah.
and Brian Daboll, I mean, everybody, every time the Giants got the ball, they were driving up and down that field, up and down that field. The play designing, the crossing routes, the scheming wide receivers wide open, the run game. It was amazing from the New York Giants, and Minnesota were exposed for the frauds that they were. And Daniel Jones made the plays that Kirk Cousins couldn't. And Kirk Cousins, he's really at that level. He's at the 10 to 15 level. And it's just the Vikings did not have enough around to get them to the stage that they want to. I'm not blaming Kirk Cousins like everyone wants to, even though, like, 4th and 8 and you throw the ball 3 yards, you kind of deserve blame for that. I don't understand what was that. But great win for the Giants. Great win for the Giants.
Well, I think that, as a Cowboys fan, I might be a little biased because I didn't really like the game, but I gotta give credit where credit's due. And Daniel Jones, throughout the whole season, people have been trying to say that he's not that guy, but look at whose wide receivers are. I mean, like Darius Slayton,
Isaiah
Hodgins is his best.
Isaiah
Yeah, Isaiah,
Hodgins is
he's
your
a
number
six-round
one.
pick. He's a
Is your number
six-round pick,
one.
and he got over
Isaiah
100 yards.
Hodgins, and Daniel Jones still does not get the respect he deserves.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing with absolutely no receivers, and we're just
No
talking about
receivers. No
and we always
receivers.
like talk about like Dak Prescott and them. They need like a number one wide receiver before we can like fully, what's it called? Like we can fully analyze them. But Daniel Jones, he's doing this with a 6th-round pick and Darius Slayton. Like he's doing it.
Who's Cowboys' third receiver?
T.Y. Hilton.
Noah Brown.
Or Noah Brown.
Noah Brown or T.Y. Hilton.
And who's their second? Michael Gallup?
Yeah.
Michael Gallup would be the number one easily on the Giants.
Oh, easily.
You could argue T.Y. Hilton and Noah Brown could challenge for the number one. That's how the depth of weapons this Giants team are. Who's their tight end? The Bellinger?
Yeah, Bellinger.
Yeah, like, come on, man. Give Daniel Jones a
Bellinger's
break,
pretty
bro.
solid.
Brian Daboll and Daniel Jones and Saquon deserve huge success for how the Vikings this Giants season.
I mean,
and Wink Martindale too for their defense.
Yeah, I mean, this Giants team it's pretty good. It's kind of scary for next season. Well, obviously they're still not done yet. They could still beat the Eagles, but yeah. Other than that, I mean, the Vikings. Kirk Cousins played a pretty good game. I can't really blame Kirk for that. It's just the Vikings. They're just they're not that good of a team. They're just frauds.
They're very similar to the Raiders in my opinion. The Vikings and Raiders in terms of level. The only difference is one won all their close games, while one lost all their close games. I heard that from my friend, by the way. If my friend ever sees this, he'll be like, "Don't you stole it from me." No, I didn't come up with that saying. My friend did, but I had agreed with it very, very much so. Yeah, just what else did I want to say on this apart from this game? Oh, no, you haven't won yet.
Oh, Brian Daboll once again proving why he's coach of the year. He's done this all year, and he just did it once again in the playoffs. Daniel Jones proving why he is the Giants franchise quarterback. There were so many doubts going into this year. He had no receivers. I mean, it's just the play. It was just what a great playoff debut. And Saquon, I mean, we already knew Saquon was this good of a running back, but he just proved it again. The Giants defense, they got the stops when they needed to, and just good complimentary football.